I'm Bill Rogers. I'm here to talk about our new Generation 2 Rogers rail light. The new Generation 2 uses the Streamlight MicroStream USB, which is a rechargeable light, which is neat about our particular model that we're using. It has the ability to have 250 lumens on the first press. The standard one that they sell has, I believe, 50 lumens on the first, where ours, for tactical use, it has 250. Now it mounts into our rail light assembly unit that looks just like this. And when you first get this, you'll need to charge it up, and I'm going to take you through the steps of charging the unit. So it's necessary, because of the way this fits so snugly on the little lamp itself, that it's necessary to unscrew the screws, and we're going to remove them completely. So I'm just going to take a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, remove the screws, just like so. And then there's a hinge plate here. We just remove that. And if you slide the light back, you'll see that there's a port. And the port is designed so that you can use a USB charger and charge this up. It has a red light when it's low, and when it turns green, it's fully charged. Usually takes about 3 hours. Now, while I've got it apart, some of the people I know that like to just set this up so that the charge port is exposed all the time, and I'll show you how we do that. You simply bring it back in a position about like this, and you can measure it pretty carefully. And you put this back together again. It has a little locking lugs that form a hinge, and then you press it down. Remember, the screws have to go in from the bottom side, so they have to drop in to the threaded portion. So don't try to put the screws in the other direction. Now, when you're doing this, you want to bring this down just a finger tight. You could strip the unit if you try to over tighten it. It's not necessary. It's really snug right there. So now you can see that the charge port is open so that we can actually charge it, and at the same time you can close it in this position. It's sealed with the O-ring. Now the only difference here is we've moved the light back. Now the movement of the light back is all dependent upon how your hand and thumb works on your pistol. So we'll put it on here in a minute and show you. But I need to show you one other thing. This right now is set up to operate from the light from the left side to operate with your non-shooting hand. So to give you an idea, grab a blaster here. To put the unit on, all you simply do is go to the outside of the first ledge. So there's your locking ledge here matches the same groove on the other side, and once you put it in, and then if you simply take and press up, rotate, hold the weapon quickly or tightly and rotate up, it snaps into place. So what's going to take place is you're going to adjust the weapon so that your thumb can operate the light. So for me, I've got really long thumbs, and I'd like to use, if you're using the soft part of your thumb, the light is momentary. If you use the tip of your thumb, then the light will actually stay on. So I usually use it momentary. So for me, I would move the light a little bit farther forward. However, you can set this up just the way I did now so that you can operate with your strong hand only by using the thumb to operate the switch. So I can operate the switch at the same time I can shoot strong hand only. So a lot of people, if they have relatively smaller hands, can set it up to operate in any direction. To take and remove it, I'm simply going to use my thumb, hold it like this, and I'm going to twist the gun as I hold this unit and just snap it out. Now, it's set up, again, for a right-handed operation. If you're left-handed, I'm going to take you through the process to set this up left-handed. So again, you simply just remove the screws. You could, if you just have the screws backed out, try to push the light forward or backwards, but the problem is that you could damage the light. It has such a strong lockup. So we're going to just take and reverse the light and put it in the other direction, and then re-engage the little locking teeth once again. And remember, again, we're going to put the screws in from the bottom, so the screws will drop in while I'm holding it tight. We'll snug this up, just like so, finger tight. And then we've got to switch the little locking piece. Now, you can see that there's a locking tab here. That little locking tab has to drop into the recess of the rail so that it locks in place. But we've got to flip it on the other side. The easiest way to do it is with a pair of pliers or a Leatherman tool. Simply grab it and twist it. If you twist it, it'll come right out. And then we're going to take and put it through the other side to make this a left-handed unit. So once we're in the position, we can lock it down in place and it's left-handed. So there's another reason that I did this. If I'm making it left-handed, I can actually take and mount it on a rifle. And the way we do that is we simply take and bring this up again into the Picatinny rail, just like so. Get in position so you can see it. And then just mash down and it locks in place. And so now what you can do is you have less than 2 ounces is what this weighs. And we can operate this light, and again, it's 250 lumens, which is a lot brighter than the original our tactical lights that we were just using a few years ago, and it's rechargeable. So it's really a lightweight system that you can use on your handgun or your rifle. So I'm going to snap it off for a second, and I'm going to put it back into the right-handed configuration. Well, I tell you what, before I do that, let's talk about that we can modify this. But by modifying it, I can actually take and fit some of the smaller weapons. So if I brought out something like, well, let's say Smith & Wesson Compact, which is real short, or the XDS, you can see that how short this area is right here. Well, if I try to put one of these on it, this part, which is works like a leaf spring on it, is too long. But I can actually trim that down, and you can see where I just trimmed it down. And when you trim it down, it allows you then to go ahead and line it into place just like this and lock it up. Remember, anytime you put it on, you need to pull back until it locks and push forward in order to make sure that it's locked in place. So now you've modified it so that it'll actually fit on the smaller compact weapons. It won't fit on all of the compact weapons, and many of the compact weapons don't have a rail, but it'll fit the Smith & Wesson XD and many of the other series of lights. I had to move the light forward simply because it's moved so far back. The caveat to that, the system that I'm talking about using is a system where we're actually taking and setting up so that we can take and lock it in place. And I said before, we're engaging, in this case we've got a left-handed light, so we engage the teeth in the outside and then simply just take and press and lock up. So that's the easiest way for us to do it on almost all of the weapons, with the exception of some of the legacy SIG weapons. And the problem with the legacy SIG weapons is that I can't take in, I've got one set up here right now, I can't take and lock it like that. What I have to do is actually slide it in place. So if I put it down like this, I can slip it forward and lock it in and remove it the same way, but I can't take and click it on the way that I've been doing these other weapons. So for some of the pistols, you might find that you can't take it and snap it up in this direction. What you have to do, again, is simply put it in the track and slide it on and listen until it clicks in place. Always bring it back until it locks and then push it forward until you make sure that it's locked in place. But again, it gives you a situation with, you can set it up so that it works with your configuration. You want to make sure that you're away from the slide stop or some of the other operating levers on the pistol, but you need to be able to operate the light with both hands. And again, it's momentary when you use the soft part of your thumb, and it stays on permanently when you take and use the end of your thumb. So this is the system that we're talking about with our new Gen 2 rail light, Rogers rail light system. It is a rechargeable unit. It's 250 lumens. It weighs less than 2 ounces, and it's a great idea for almost any homeowner that has a handgun that may have to use it at night.